bullet journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello planner babes, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first I want to thank all my Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you guys so much, and if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Okay, you guys, I'm ready to show you my setup for January in my 2021 bullet journal. Oh my goodness, it's a new year. Can you guys believe it? The day that I'm filming this video is a few days before, or yeah, about not quite a week before. But by the time some of you see this video, we will be into the new year, and it's amazing, and I'm so grateful. I know I'm not the only person looking forward to a new and better year. Okay, so I'm housing it in a DIY traveler's notebook that I made some time ago, a couple of years, maybe 3 years ago. It's in a bunch of different videos, and I am using it. I have in my little pocket that I made the two pens that I will be using most of the time to journal, bullet journal in going forward, because all of my setup is all different types of pens, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But now that everything is all set up, I'll mainly be using the 01 and the 03 of the Pigma Micron to put all my notes and checklists, check off stuff and all that good stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to put these off aside because we're going to talk about those here in just a moment. So in my previous video, let me first say, in case you're not aware and haven't seen my 2021 bullet journal setup video or my planner lineup for 2021, that I am bullet journaling this year in a Hobonichi Plain Notebook. So I got two of them for basically 2 half years, and so this is the first one for the first half of the year. Okay, so this is my title page, which you saw probably in the thumbnail. But before we go into detail about this, which we will, I want to cover the pen test. So my previous video was my favorite pens to write and draw in, and I did all of the details showing you each pen very up close, all of the different tip types, all the different tip sizes, and whether or not it had permanent ink or if it was archival, if it was water-based, all that good stuff. But I neglected to do a pen test. So we're going to start with the pen test because that's going to affect all the rest of the pages as we go forward. So here is the pen test that we talked about. So I divided it up into 3 categories. This last category is brand new, and I'll explain. But I've got water-based pigment ink and archival and waterproof ink. So these, if they're archival, they were also waterproof, so they're in their own category. This new category says archival and water resistant. So I'm going to touch on that one really quick because these are not in my favorite pen video, but they are pens that I will probably be using some in this bullet journal. And so they are from Artist Loft that I got. This is what they look like. They come in a 01, a 03, and a 05. There might be some other sizes. Actually, I think there are some other sizes, but I bought this in a set of 3 from Michaels. Artist Loft is that brand. It says it's an illustration pen, and I looked up online and it says it is archival and water resistant. Now, water resistant definitely isn't waterproof, so I am not going to use this with watercolor. Definitely not. I looked up some reviews and they said it smears, and I do not like that. So, but it's an inexpensive pen for when you just want to doodle and mess around, or you're not going to be using any watercolor around it. So I got this set of 3. I think they were like $9.99 for the 3 sizes. And then I might just lift this up to make sure you guys can see really well. But this is what the pen sizes look like. There at the bottom, the 01, 03, and 05. And you can see actually the darkness of the 01 is really good when you compare it to it's good. Well, it's not quite as good as the Pigma Micron 01, but it's definitely darker, I think, than the Faber-Castell extra small and the Tombow 01 mono. I think it's darker. But there you can see all of the pen tests. The 01 Tombow mono drawing pen, 03 and 05. You can really see the difference between the three sizes of the tips, and they're definitely, the ink is darker as you go on. This pigment ink, and the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen soft tip, and then the hard tip. There, I felt like the hard tip, I just really couldn't get any fine lines for brush lettering, but I could with the soft tip. And of course I wrote it in a small space, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to use those. So I hope to use them a lot, but I need to kind of look up and get some examples and ideas of how to best use them, because I've been using them just to underline stuff on some really glossy paper. I haven't used them to really draw just yet. So, but I really love the darkness of the ink. Now here on the archival and waterproof ink, so the water-based ones are the ones that I would always use with watercolor. So we're going to see. I'm going to try and do some different artwork with the Fudenosuke with some watercolor or water-based products like pastel or watercolor crayons and watercolor pencils and all that good stuff. So we'll see in some other videos. Then here on the archival and waterproof ones, those are good as well. I feel like for me, the Pigma Micron is my favorite when it comes to going on top of watercolor. Like, I don't have to wait till it's 100% dry, but with the Faber-Castell, it will not work for me until the watercolor is 100% dry. And also if I use watercolor where I have a really thick coating or I've layered it, sometimes I have to go over and over and wait to get it to show up at all. So, but it did, you know, it does. You just got to really wait and be patient, because the ink is India ink. It's very dark. It's very beautiful, as you can see right there. It is but anyway, I talk all about the pens in a lot of detail for like 20 minutes, and I show every single one and every single tip in that video. But now you can see how it looks on this Tomoe River paper. All right, so, and I'll talk about which pens I used on the different pages as we go through in this video. All right, so we've got the pen test there. And now let's go ahead and look at the title page for January. Okay, for the letters for the month of January, I used the really big brush pen by Faber-Castell, the Faber-Castell Pet Artist pen. It's got the really big fat, if I can get it off, fat tip right there, and that's how I wrote January. And then I went around it. Now all of the lettering, when I sketched, actually, let me just say that, whenever I sketched this, all of the signs and the little grass and all that good stuff, and the lines around January, this is not the pen I wanted. I used the other one is over here somewhere. Here it is. I used the 3 Tombow mono. That's not it either. Okay, somewhere it is here. There we go. So 01, 05, and 03. I use these Tombow mono pens, and you saw the pen test on the other page. So I did that to do all of the sketching. Those are water-based pigment ink pens, so they work really well. And then I used some watercolor crayons to color inside, and then took a watercolor brush and just put the water on them. And they're different watercolor pencils. Some of them are Prismacolor, which is my favorite. So the yellow, this green, and this red. And I can't remember this one. I think they're all Prismacolor. And then the other ones are a new one that I got, and I don't think I have it here. I don't remember the name of the company, and I've put that up for another video, but they are, let me see if I can find that for you. Okay, here they are. They are Derwent watercolor, and they, when you color with these, they have a lot of the little crumbs. I don't know what you call it. It's the stuff inside the pencil that creates it, makes it capable to have watercolor and also be used as a color pencil. I can't think of what that term is. And so you have to like dust it off. And so I don't really like that, but the colors worked okay. You know, I know this one was one and this one, these two were those colors, and this was one of the colors from it. Oh, and this one was too. So, but I don't know if you can tell that the Prismacolor is a lot shinier. It just has a lot more sort of a glossy pigment the darker you go. And so so then after I painted everything with the color pencils and my watercolor pencils, then I used the watercolor brush, and then I went back over all of the lettering except for January. It was fine. I went back over all the lettering with a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen, actually in size medium, not the fine. And so, but they were dry, but I think this was the last one. And this one, it was hard to get it to go over, like I said. So that's one of the drawbacks to me sometimes for using the Faber-Castell with watercolor afterwards. And before, sometimes, I don't remember if it ever smeared. I don't think I ever really dealt with or practiced doodling and then with Faber-Castell and then putting watercolor over it because I'm always afraid. I don't want to mess anything up. And then for the little patches of grass, I used Tombow dual brush pens, and then I use Tombow dual brush pens the border of the signs there. And so I just wanted to put different wording that has to do with the new year and setting your goals and just having a better year, especially in 2021 than 2020. And so I've got put in the work. Happy New Year. Things are going to be different. Track your progress. Have faith. Set goals. Write the vision. And overcome obstacles. Yeah, because basically, if you want things to be different, you have to do things differently. So we start off with the new year, and then we want to write down the vision of what you want that year to be like, because you want it to be different. Even if it was good the previous year, maybe you want it to be better, and that's different. Or maybe you want it to be the same in a lot of ways, but a little bit different in other ways. And so then you want to set goals for that fit with the vision. And you want to put in the work and track your progress, have faith that you can reach them, and plan strategies to overcome obstacles. Okay, so that's the title spread. And then this is my monthly calendar. Now, it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to because I didn't count all my squares. I did later to plan for future calendars, but I didn't count all my squares and do the math to make sure everything was the size I needed it to be, because I only put 4 weeks in here and I should have had at least 5. And so, yeah, so I had to divide up some Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. And I didn't do the diagonal line because I feel like it's harder to write stuff in with the diagonal space or the triangle than it is when it's vertical, but you know, either way it's fine. But that's what I did, and I put in different things that are recurring. I put stickers, so like church is always on Sundays. I put some crosses there. I put the little money stickers for payday and paying tithes. I put the little grocery bag stickers on there for grocery day, and then I wrote in all the other recurring things that I didn't have a sticker for, like checking the mailbox. I used some Happy Mail stickers that were from Wonton and A Million, and let's see what else, and then everything else I just wrote in. So oh, and washi, I used to always post not videos, but post things on social media for Washi Wednesday, and then I just got away from it. I don't know what happened. So I'm planning to get back to that. And then everything that was a holiday I put in this really pretty blue color, which is all Tombow dual brush pens, by the way, all of the colors that are on here. And then I did birthdays in this orange, and I doodled a little birthday hat or party hat. And then I'm getting back into my Spanish, which I had Spanish in high school. If you're not aware, I had 2 years in high school. I tested out of 10 credit hours when I went to college for my bachelor's degree. And then I got a minor. I finished with a minor degree in it. And then I used to use it all the time. I used to attend and do praise and worship at a Spanish speaking church. And then I had years that I wasn't practicing. But I'm able to do things. I've traveled and been able to communicate without having to look stuff up and all of that stuff. And even here, I've used it here in the Phoenix metro before in areas where I needed to. But my Spanish is not good and I haven't been keeping it up. So I'm committed to really immersing myself this year and having a plan going forward, which I'll talk about that in my goals video coming up. So I just wrote enero because that's how you say January in Spanish, 2021. Just kind of remind myself. And then I did some little doodles of these little sort of leaves, little plant, kind of mimicking that. And I doodled one going across here. Now what I plan to do is as a day comes to completion each day of the month, then I'm going to doodle something in that space as well, but a black and white doodle to kind of balance all of the color that is in this calendar spread. Okay. And then here on this spread is my to-do for the month. I normally put to-do this month in here, but I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't. So I did another little doodle, that same kind of plant, but with blue petals that time, or green leaves rather, or whatever. They're blue. Gosh, blue. That's blue, Lucinda. And then I have this real cool mermaid and sea life washi tape that I've had for a while, and I decided to doodle the two different fish that are here next to this mermaid. And so there's this one is that little fish, and then this one is that little fish right there, and I did it in the same colors, the blue and green, and I think it looks cute like that. So I've got the different categories of things to do. Now this category I've set up differently this time. I used to have 6 categories, and one of them did not include general business. It was Lucinda Worships YouTube was the other one. And so what I did this time is I have personal YouTube Organized Planner Chic, Patreon Organized Planner Chic, Facebook Organized Planner Chic Crew group, and Facebook Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ group. Then I added the general business there, and then here I have 3 areas for Lucinda Worships, which is where I sing on social media. So I've got the Instagram, the Facebook, and then YouTube. I only did like 2, maybe 3 videos last year, earlier in the year, and totally stopped because 2020 happened and it just changed everything, and I was sick all of March and April, and that, oh my goodness. So I continued to do it on social media but not on YouTube. So I got to make plans for what I'm gonna do for January. And then this is the first week in January, and so I will doodle throughout the days in the month, and I'll add stickers, and it'll be all full and colorful, and then I will add the next week. So right here I've got the days of the week in lowercase with the date, calendar date next to them. And then here at the top I've got high and low for the temperatures, and then I'll doodle a sun or clouds or rain, whatever the weather is, right next to it. Then I always weigh myself, record how much sleep I got the night before, and whether or not I did yoga in the morning or the evening. And then my to-do list is just under each of those. So to do, this one I had task list, to do, and then weekend right there, and what week number it is, because we have 52 weeks in the year. And that is my setup for January, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share and comment. It really helps my channel a lot. Also, I have the 2 Facebook groups. The one for anyone around the world is called Organized Planner Chic Crew, and there I do giveaways, and we try to stay in touch just about every day with all different types of posts. And then the other group is called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ, and there we normally stay in touch. Well, normally we would meet in person, but because of COVID we haven't really done that. So but hopefully new year, new things, we can get back to it, but we do stay in touch on Facebook. And then if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, happy planning!